Chris Machete, one half of the Kids on the Escalator podcast. My other half of that, Brent, is out there drinking coffee somewhere, I'm sure right now. I bet right now he's having a coffee. Yeah, so cheers to Brent, the other half of the team here. This isn't coffee. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's a mystery. So anyway, my name's Chris Machete. If you don't know anything about me, I'm the owner of Machete Comics here in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. I am also the owner of the legendary HM Music and Comic Book Art School. Excuse me. I can hear our cats. If you ever watch any of our other podcasts, you know our cats like to get involved by yelling at me when I'm doing this. I'm not sure why that is. They're very well behaved when I'm not on camera, which is funny. Just kidding. They're always like, here they come. You coming in here? Come on. Distracted. I've been asked to bring the mic a little closer to me. Hopefully everybody heard what I just said. That'd be great. I'm Chris. This is Chris's Comics. This is our first episode. I'm going to do this every Sunday. I've been reading comics since I was 4 years old. I've been collecting them since I was 10. Excuse me. I have just over 40 boxes of comics and growing. Excuse me, all the time. It's harder to get out and pick them up right now with the lockdown. But make sure you support your local comic store, your LCS. We got to keep them in business, my friends. Don't be canceling anything on your pull list right now. See it through, right? So, true believers out there, I hope you're going to enjoy these comic books that I talk to you and show you. Again, if you have watched our podcast, you may have heard me say that I never really had a comic book friend growing up. And kind of had to hide it. So this is really great for me to talk about this. We also do retro movies on our channel here on Friday nights. And I play Dying Light all over the place. I do guitar lessons on this channel on Monday nights. And Tuesday nights is our big one, our Kids on the Escalator podcast, where we've had members of, we like to have musical guests on there and talk about comic book stuff and Star Wars stuff like that. We've had members of Slash's band on there, members of Took, members of Korn, members of Moist, members of Our Lady Peace, or no, sorry, not Our Lady Peace, members of I Mother Earth. Sorry, Chuck. Okay, so enough of me pimping my stuff. Let's get into some of my comic books here. Okay, so what I'm going to go over first is just some stuff that I picked up. So you can see some of my new comics, get inside my noggin and see what I like to buy. So this one here, I got to make sure we can see them okay. There's no glare. I can't really see the screen there. Can you move the screen over a bit, producer? Yeah, there we go. Perfect, there we go. So the first one I have here is Walking Dead #6. Now this is reprints, but they're colored by, what's his name there? Dave McKeag. I'm pronouncing his name right. And it's really cool that they added color, because if you are a Walking Dead fan, you know they were done in black and white. So what they've done is they've added color to all the comics and they're redoing them. Yeah, I know. Cash grab? I don't know. I'm going to follow it through till issue 10. I like to stop at round numbers. Now in here, in this issue real quick, it's just small differences between the show and the comic book is Carl actually kills Shane in this one. You can see Shane and Rick fighting on the cover there, right? And Shane has the upper hand. But it's Carl in the comic book that shoots Shane, not Rick stabbing him like it went. So there's that issue. And then these come out quickly because they're just being recolored. Issue 7. I believe this is the first Tyrese, where they find Tyrese and they just run into him. It's just kind of, hello, hey, don't shoot us, don't kill us. We're humans. We're not walkers, right? So it wasn't anything really dramatic. And then it leads to a snow kind of deal there. You can see on the back, which I thought was pretty wild in the show, that when the snow hit them, they had no idea how to deal with it. And all us Canadians are watching going, come on, it's only snow. You survive Negan and you survive friggin', no, not the mayor. I'm just blank. The governor. And, but you can't survive winter. Really? Yeah, all us Canadians are probably laughing at that. I'm thinking. Okay.
Can we just close that door? Because I think the sound's there.
Closing the door by request of our producer. Yeah, the lucky thing is the Kids on the Escalator producer lives here. So she does this show as well for me. Okay, here's what we got next. Now this series here This is a Marvel comic. The last ones were from Image. This is a Marvel comic. This is part of the Star Wars series. This is Bounty Hunters. And the hero, Valance, I believe his name is, if I remember correctly. I'm not digging him yet, and we're almost at issue 10. They've had Dangar in there and some other bounty hunters, which is cool. Boba Fett's been in there as well. I'm just finding that the main character's not doing it for him. I'm getting pretty disappointed. Should I write a letter? Should I write a letter into the comic book and say, come on, man, take this somewhere? Or at least maybe spin off a new bounty hunter. That would be pretty cool, too, if we could bring a different bounty hunter in as the main character. Like, hey, kill him off. Who cares, right? Just kidding. So, Bounty Hunter number 9. I got the whole series so far. And, again, if it doesn't change soon, I may drop this one from my pull list, but not until everything's back to normal. I would not do that to my LCS. Okay? So, there's Bounty Hunters. Now, this has been a favorite of mine forever. I will always love Daredevil. Daredevils. I don't have a backer board for this one. I just picked these up. He was out of backer boards for these. There's...
Shout out to Brent.
Shout out to Brent. There he is. I already gave you a cheers, buddy. Hope you heard it. Bitchin'. Brent needs to do a DC version of this for his comics. So this is the newest Daredevil. Sorry, I forget what number we're at here. 26. Whoa, and then just before this was the big one, right? Where Elektra donned the Devil's costume. She was kind of the new Daredevil, because Daredevil's in jail right now. Now these are all spinning off into the Venom symbiote kind of null god in a lot of comics. And I'm just to point out that I'm not one of those guys that follows around the storyline through every title. I'll still pick up Daredevil. You know what I mean? But Daredevil's fantastic. So Daredevil is one of the greatest comics ever, in my opinion. Consistently one of the greatest comic books ever, and it's still amazing. So as I say, he's in jail right now, and it's pretty interesting what's going on with that. I don't want to spoil too much. Pick it up and read it. But I love my Daredevils. Daredevil, great. So this is number 26, Legacy number 638. Now, if you don't know what the difference is, Legacy number is from when they started number 1 back in the Legacy days, back in the 60s. They like to rename them or renumber them so they can put out a number 1 all the time, and that gets all the marks. Gets them to buy it. Okay. Excuse me. This was another one I was pretty stoked to get. I have some of the earlier copies of this one from Marvel, and there's a movie coming out for it that should be pretty spectacular. And the creator of this whole story and these characters is one of my idols, Jack Kirby. Okay, so this is Eternals number 1, and that's a really cool cover. And that's just the regular cover. That's a nice one. I've been waiting to get a hold of that one there. I love the colors on it, the cool blue. It really works for me visually. I really, really enjoyed it. So I read this, and I like it. It was good. It was good. It ends off. Again, I don't want to ruin anything, but they show the cover of the next issue, and Thanos is on the cover. Huge Thanos, right? So it's heading towards them fighting Thanos, which is great, because Thanos is, again, one of my favorite characters. I really like what they did with him in the movies, as opposed to many other characters you see back in the day. But Marvel's doing it right, man. You got to hand it to Marvel. But they made Thanos just so cool. So cool. Okay, so Eternals number 1, my friends. Good read. Good read. Good artwork. Very, very digital artwork. But good read. I enjoyed it. Okay, another one here. Another one here that's going through the King Black series. It's going through all the comics books. Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's another one that I buy that I'm thinking about tailing off on this one possibly. Cool cover again, though. Cool cover. Lots of stuff going on with these guys. They killed off Quill. Now he's back. You know what I mean? They killed off Rocket, kind of. Now he's back. Yeah, so that's the way that it's kind of heading. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to stick with Guardians. We'll see. This issue was pretty good. Not bad. They're realizing Quill's alive and stuff, so... And it's a different team than you're used to nowadays. Moondragon's in there and some others that you may be familiar with, or maybe not. So anyway, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy, number 10, Legacy 172. I should have brought my glasses with me. So Legacy 172. I like the Legacy numbers. Just keep it at the Legacy numbers, man. You're not making me feel old. You just make me feel schooled and important. Okay. Now, holy smokes, do they ever put out a lot of Spider-Man comic books, right? So it's going to take a couple minutes here just to get through a lot of Spider-Man. Just get through my Spider-Man comics. Okay. So, the Last Remains storyline was going on forever. Holy cow! So here's number 55 that I picked up. The one comic store that I go to, he just surprises me with some variant covers and stuff. So this is a variant cover of Spider-Man, number 55, Legacy 856. So let's get that number 1,000 Spider-Man comic book out, right? So that's a cool cover, I guess. Yeah, I'm not really a huge Lego fan. I should be. But that is like a Lego variant cover copy. And as I say, they're going The Last Remains, where the villain's been a mystery throughout the whole thing. And if you don't know who it is by now, because it's over, it wasn't Norman Osborn, it was Harry Osborn. Norman Osborn, the original Green Goblin's son. Okay? And, it's a long story. Well, I would like to know what the people out there who read the Spider-Man series of that thought about it, because I've read where a lot of people disliked it, that it dragged on too long. Don't know if we really got much closure on it either. But I'd really like to know your opinion on it. But just moving on here. So there's Spider-Man 55. And of course, here's Spider-Man 56. All right. You got the Kingpin. And Norman Osborn on there. Not Harry, not his son. So at this point, you find out that the two of them are working together. It's great stuff. Good cover, Graham. Now, this is a weird cover. Because what's he lying on? What's going on behind him there? I don't know. I don't like that cover very much, to be honest. I don't know what's going on there. He's lying back on something. But if you have this and you see, it's like, what the hell's he lying on? I don't get it. Like, Lonnie, what do you see? What the hell's he lying on?
I don't know.
I could be missing something, whatever the artist is trying to get through. Yeah, it just looks weird. Not my favorite cover, but there we go. Still going. So this is the Last Remains post-mortem. Let's soak it some more. It's not horrible, though. You know what I mean? I find the art's really good. It's good to see Bagley back doing some of the artwork. And the other artist, who I can't remember his name, every other one that he's doing is really well drawn as well. So, yeah, we've got Amazing Spider-Man 57 here. Should have said the legacy number. All right, here's 58. This is a wicked cover. I like this cover. So Dr. Negative's back, or Mr. Negative? Blank on this. One second. I have to know this, because I'm pretty sure I was right. Mr. Negative! Of course I was right. Gee, it wasn't Dr. Negative, Mr. Negative. Okay, Mr. Negative's back. So chaos ensues. There's a great cover. Spider-Man fighting it off. I love that. He fights so many villains at one time, and he's... What was that? I don't know what that was. So, he fights lots of people at one time, and he's very quippy about it. I like that in Spider-Man. Oh, he's shooting the zingers at people, right? Yeah. Okay, so, I think, are we past... Okay, we're finally out of the last Remains storyline, going on to a new one, which is decent. And this is Legacy 859. Motoring through those Amazing Spider-Mans, eh, my friends? Every time I go to the LCS to pick up new comic books put away for me, there's always some Spider-Man in there. Spider-Man's right here. Also, always loved the Fantastic Four. The first family, excuse me, of Marvel. You know, it's they're really, really, I really love the stories. So they came back out with them. They stopped doing Fantastic Four for a while there, if you're aware or not. So we are at Fantastic Four Legacy. Oh, my glasses. 673.28. The covers on these are really, really well done. They're really high-end covers. Like the opposite style of art that I do. I do more of a McFarlane, cartoony kind of style, where this is, more of a hand... It looks more hand-painted, but you know it's done on a computer. It wasn't done by the Hildebrands or anything like that. But it's still awesome stuff, right? So I've always enjoyed the Fantastic Four. I'm glad they're back. The last storyline that they went through was pretty heavy, of course, because it's Fantastic Four. Big stories. Anyway, I buy Fantastic Four as well. Now, this has been a good one for a long, long time. Very consistent. The art's been amazing. And we're heading towards issue 200. So you know we're going to have a million covers and a big explosion story. And plus, it's the whole King Black story, right? And this is the Venom comic where it's basing out of. So something big's coming in 200, my friends. That's a cool cover too. All the Venom stuff lately has been really, really great. They've really evolved his character well. They brought out that he had a son that was pretty decent, and of course they've spun off into other Venom characters. You know, there's this Venom, there's that Venom, there's lots of other Venoms, and a lot of them have been really cool. Excuse me as I take a sip of my drink. So Venom, I collect Venom still. Love Venom. Big Venom fan. Those are the batch of new that's the batch of new comics that I just picked up. Okay, so I just got these. So what else am I going to do? I'm going to go over some other things. Okay, so a new comic that I've really enjoyed here, and it's skyrocketed in price. Like, I think it's when you see a comic that's sold for $5, and then the next week it's going for 20. You know you got something here.
I just gotta get the cord.
Okay. And here it is. Oh, this is beauty. Star Wars High Republic. I tried to get the Yoda cover. The Yoda cover. I was too late. I didn't order it in time, so bummer. But I got this. Worth a lot, and I'm picking up this series. This series is fantastic so far. Only one issue, but it's going to go far. It's Star Wars, and it's going way back. Right, we're going back. So this is it has Yoda in it, as I mentioned, and he's evidently much younger. I didn't catch how old he was, or I don't know if they threw out how old he was, but Yoda's in there, and he's younger, so it's going to be cool, right? It's going to be cool. And they show so much things in here that could be future canon, right? And they have a timeline inside the front cover that's extremely helpful, too, because nobody knows what canon for Star Wars is anymore unless you're like a dude like me, or maybe like you. All right, we're going to have an interruption here again. What was that? Something's buzzing anyway. Okay. What am I going to look at next? Okay. So what I want to look at next here is some comic books that you could possibly find still in like cheap bins and stuff, because maybe the people aren't in the know or they don't know that this book is in the cheap bin. Now, the WandaVision series is really starting to explode. If you do watch our Kids on the Escalator podcast, you'll see all the drama about that. And I went on there and really broke it down for everybody. Really broke it down. I helped some people understand it a little more, which is cool because, I know comic books and I don't really have to spend hours researching it because it's all, here's an example. It's all right here. So this is so rad. So this is Avengers West Coast 51 and 52. Now, if you're in the know, this is Master Pandemonium, and those are Vision and Scarlet Witch's children on the hands. And in this, it explains what the purpose of the children were. Are they going to follow this in the TV show WandaVision? I don't know, but it's really good source material. I don't think they'll bring in Master Pandemonium. I don't think they'll do that, but I'm thinking my money is on Nightmare and Mephisto. Mephisto being higher than Nightmare, and this bridging over. Because rumor has it that the new Doctor Strange villain is going to be Nightmare, and I could see Keanu Reeves playing that pretty well, or Mephisto. Mephisto, if he was the big villain of this whole new thing, the new wave that Marvel's putting out, yeah, Keanu Reeves is going to be somebody huge, right? We all know that. So these comics, and this is Avengers West Coast. That's why it might slip by some stores and some folks who may already have it in a cheap bin. So keep your eye open for that. It's 51 and 52, as I mentioned. Yeah, there's 51. There's more in this series, too. I just didn't want to dig them all out. I have them all. I bought these actually back when they were in the comic book store. So, hey, bully for me. So these are the two that you may be able to pick up on the down low and add some gold to your collection. Okay, my friends. What I'm going to do now is a segment called Blast from the Past. Now, yes, this is a comic book from the past, but it's a book that I bought in a variety store. Okay, so we're going pretty much pre-comic book store. These are going to be books that I bought in variety stores that I held on to, that I kept. Are they worth a lot of money? Some of them are. Some of them aren't. Some of them are just bitching. So, this first one I have here is from 1982. And I remember buying this from a drugstore at a cottage that my parents would, my grandmother's cottage. My parents and I would stay there in summer times. And this one summer, we stayed up there for like a month or something. And I bought like a ton of comic books. It was my lifeline because I didn't know a lot of people there. And I'm an only child, so I didn't really have any friends. So the comic books were my friends, and that was cool. So this is one of them that I picked up. Now, this is Marvel 2-in-1 Annual, starring The Thing, number 7. Okay? Oh, this was such a fun issue. If you have this, you know what I'm talking about. The cool thing is it's the first appearance, I think, of the Champion, who later turns out to have one of the soul gems. Like he's like the essence of battle, you know what I mean? He scours the universe finding worthy opponents that he can fight. But he wants to fight them legitimately, like no powers, no weapons. They basically, you can see they go in a boxing ring. So what happens is he has a manager that comes down to Earth, and they select the greatest heroes. You can see them on the cover, and they do battle against the champion. And some get disqualified, some of them just get beat by the champion, and the Thing just won't go down. He keeps coming and coming. He said, "You can't beat me. I'm the Thing. Beat the crap out of me. You have to kill me first," kind of thing, right? So it was great. So it was a really fun, excuse me, it was a really fun story. And then later on, to see the champion have one of those stones, and the comic book version of the Infinity Gauntlet, where Thanos goes and takes it from him. I have that as well. That's in more of a bound book, but I have that as well. Infinity Quest, I think it's called. Excuse me, yeah. So this is they don't show the champion on the cover here, but this is Blast from the Past, and it was one of those turnstile comic book things. I'll probably bring up a few comics from that summer, from the summer of '82. It was a good summer. I had fun. Great issue. If you have this one, you know what I'm talking about. It's a fun romp, my friends. All right. Another book that I have to show off. As I mentioned, I'm the owner of Machete Comics. And this is issue 1 of Skeletor. This is the Ashcan version. Super high quality. It's great. It's great. You can get this. You only have the digital copy of this available. Again, I haven't found a publishing company, printing company, that is they're either really inexpensive and super. I can't fit this in here very well because I don't want to wreck it. It's the very first only copy. There we go. Look at that. Printing. So independent comic book artist, our independent comic book company, finding printing that is accessible. You put it online digitally, and that's pretty easy. That's pretty easy. But you want these physical copies, my friends. I know you do. So trying to find the right deal and the right quality is pretty tough. If I bought 1,000 of these, I'd have to sell them at like $10 each. So this is going to be a very small run of these, just for some friends. We're waiting on some paper copies. I think we found a winner, my friends. I can't remember the name of them. My wife goes over all that. She's like management, and she's actually on the other side of the office here, adding dialogue to issue 2 of Skeletor that comes out not tomorrow but the day after. We're going to debut that on the 2nd instead of the 1st, February 2nd. Issue 2 of Skeletor. This is issue 1, and it's going to be debuted on our show, Kids on the Escalator. Awesome show. Got to watch our podcast. The main show on Tuesday. So you can buy this online. You can support my small comic company, Machete Comics. You can go to blurb.ca and you can buy the digital copy, or you can go to Patreon and you can support us, and you can get a few things off of Patreon from us, which would be cool. We would appreciate all your help. It's tough starting an independent comic company, but damn, it's fun. I teach as well, though. As I say, like I own the legendary HM Music and Art and Comic Book School, and I teach online all around Kingston. I just actually been hired by the city, so they're going to be seeing a lot more of me. And I'm keeping comic book art alive. Classic comic book art alive, which is great. Okay, Skeletor. You can buy this on blurb.ca and Patreon, my friends. Now, another book that I'm reading, another thing. See, I don't read that much, but one that I'm trying to get back into and read about just to calm my mind down and stuff and relax is Splinters of the Mind's Eye, classic Star Wars from like 1978. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Not canon by any means, but I think this might have been the first alternate storylines from the grand scheme of things. You know, when people were like throwing out extra stories after Star Wars, A New Hope, and having ideas to put in there for extra stories. And this was great. Splinters of the Mind's Eye. Great book. Easy read. Easy read. Really enjoyed that. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry about that. That's pretty much what I got for you today, my friends. I'm going to come back every Sunday and do this. If I don't have anything new, I'll just pull out a box and we can go through them, and I'll show you some really cool stuff. A lot of times when I go through my boxes of comic books, I'm like, wow, I always, every time I find something that I forgot about, well, look at this, and it just makes me happy. And hopefully when I share them with you folks, it'll make you guys happy, because as I mentioned, I don't have any comic book fans in my life, really, that I hang out with. I don't. Never have, but I'm used to it, and it's all good, you know. It's all good, but it feels great to share this with you folks, and I'd love to hear from you. I want to hear what you think about that newest SpiderMan series. If you're looking for some new old school comic book stuff, Skeletor, that's my comic book. It's out there. What's going on tonight? What is going on tonight? We've got... Let me gear myself up here. There we go. We've got the Royal Rumble tonight. And classic wrestler and friend of the kids on the Escalator podcast, Edge, is going to be back. And he's going to be in there. I think he's number one. He's going to be the first one in there. So let's go Edge. I'm cheering for Edge. I want Edge to win the Royal Rumble tonight. And I think he's going to. I'm putting my money on him. That's the other one. Who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble? But you better answer quick because it's tonight. All right? Okay, again, I'm Chris Machete. I'm one half of Kids on the Escalator. This segment is called Chris's Comics. And today is Sunday. So tomorrow night, I will be back on here at 6:30. Producer?
Yes.
Tomorrow night, I will be back on here at 6:30 with Chris Machete Music. They are my guitar lessons, and I've only had one episode out, so tomorrow will be my second episode, continuing our effort to get everybody soloing. And don't be afraid to solo. Please, I know it is intimidating. I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay? So again, true believers, hopefully I see you tomorrow night with your guitar. And then Tuesday night, just to hang out and hear us chat. I'm not sure what our Tuesday episode is about. I think it's either ghost stories or the band Kiss. I'm going to have to talk to Brent tonight. Brent, if you're watching, we got to figure that out, brother. Because our guest that we wanted to get on there hasn't replied to me yet. Kind of flaky. Great guy, though. I talk too much. Okay, guys. Cheers. Love y'all. See you tomorrow.